my gratitude to Department of State Affairs, to IREX, and to George Mason University for all their help and support during the time we have been here in this area. And it's really great and marvelous chance to be among 17 teachers from different 17 countries, of course with different cultures. When I say cultures, I mean their tradition, their customs, and their habits are totally different, and we get much or many benefits from that to live with those things. That is the first point for me. And the second, if I go back to the halls or the rooms, and if I want to focus on the most unique aspects of my portfolio, number one, I'm starting with the first thing that takes me to Supriya's sessions. And I'm not saying this because you are here. It is already in my laptop here. And the fruitful discussions we had, sometimes as group work and sometimes as teamwork. So that's the first thing. Yes, it's true that we learn some theory and we learn some theoretical part of it, but the most useful part of it is what we found in practice when we work together as a teamwork. And from here, actually, I get the right concept, how to differentiate between these two terms, which look to be similar, just group work and teamwork. And actually, inside the classroom, we work as teamwork. And when I am back in my country, the God wills, I'm going to use the same method and the same technique while dealing with my students in the classroom, or while dealing with teachers when I train teachers. So work should be in a team work. This is people should work together. That's the first one. And another thing, I mustn't forget her lectures concerning leadership, the whole thing, that's the leadership. And when I talk about leadership, I talk about myself from 2 points, that I am a leader when I'm inside the classroom because I teach students, and I'm a leader when I train teachers. And I always keep saying that in the past, and after having this course and getting these ideas and information, in the past I used to be a negative leader according to the criteria that I now get from here. Okay, and so what I get from the teacher and what I get from my colleagues, their ideas throughout the discussions, have impact on my behavior as a leader, and actually they have changed in my performance again as a leader. And now I get to know the real meaning or the real definition of the concept of the leadership. Okay, I don't want to go in details. So I promise when I'm back, I'm going to take all the students with me. I mean, I'm not going to leave any of them behind me. And I take the students, I mean, as well the teacher that I'm going to train. So number one, none of my students or my colleagues is going to be left behind. This is number one, promise, Supriya, Dr. Supriya. And again, I'm going to be aware of my own perspectives and other perspectives. This means I know from the discussions that we led inside the halls that only the leaders' opinions doesn't make the change in the world. So we have to listen to those. So if we have 2 years, they should be 4 years as a leader, so as to listen to other people and get their ideas. And last but not least, I should be aware of my weaknesses and strengths. And I think the first thing that I focus and mentioned is the weakness. I think and I believe that a person should be aware of his weaknesses before thinking about his strengths. Okay? Because if you think that you are so perfect person, you will be dominant, you will think only about your ideas, you will think only about your perspectives. Okay? So these are the 3 things I'm taking from Supriya. Thank you, Dr. Supriya. The second thing I'm moving to, that is technology, the place where we are. Okay, and well, to be honest, at first I thought of it as it is a very long hour lesson, and I started to hate it, to see all this time here. But once we started it, things went better. Okay, and we liked it very much, and we learned so many things from it. The very thing we know from that, technology is not only used as a means of transforming information for the students, but it's used to make them learn. Teachers can use technology to practice the 5 skills. And when I say the 5 skills, I insist on the 5 skills as I learned here there are 5, not 4. That is listening, that's speaking, that's reading and writing, and overall that is thinking. So students will be together and they do all these things using technology, and they are not, or they don't know that they are practicing these skills. Even we as teachers at the first, we didn't know. When the professor asked us, do this and try to make what is the first one, that broadcasting. We thought that she was only interested in the broadcasting, but actually that's not the point. She was interested in making us go and search and read and sit together and talk, and all right, so that it is. So when I'm back, now I can use the technology for teaching these 5 skills. Okay, and number one, another thing that we get from technology is very marvelous things that I think yesterday or 2 days ago just filmed me and enjoyed it a lot. And we work together again as a teamwork. Very enjoyable. Okay, given 2 hours, maybe sometimes, so 1.5 hours, and we are busy, and each one is thinking very hard so as to get something, and each group wants to make her work better than the other. So there is a sort of competition that is inside the classroom. So I'm going to do the same when I'm back in my country with my students. Okay, to make them feel that they want more time for learning, not to hate learning, not to think that lessons and lectures are so boring for them. And the last point is my field experience. And here I have, I was in Westfield High School, and I have to thank the teacher who helped me a lot. That's Mr. Kevin, and he is a very kind, friendly, supportive, helpful, and generous person. And to show his generosity is that he presented me 15 marvelous, remarkable, wonderful, fruitful books to take back home to my country. This is the first thing that I got from him. From inside the schools, we learn so many things. One of them, that classrooms are learning as a classroom is totally different from what I have in my country. Here the teachers speak less, while they in my country teachers speak all the time, sometimes, or most of the time. So when I'm back there and as a teacher trainer, I'm going to change that thing. So that is the first change I'm taking to them. It's not a present, it is this change in the way they deal with teaching inside the classroom. Here teachers, I get to know that they only prepare tasks and they only assign tasks for the learners to do inside the classroom. Though some learners are a little bit misbehaved, but they try to keep them very busy. Thank you very much for your attention. And yeah.
Thank you.